I found about stems is, primarily early on in my career, the concern was with the pH of the wine, and so stems have a lot of potassium in the fruit. Have a lot of potassium in them, and so if you use whole clusters in the ferment, you typically end up with a higher pH wine. So if you're starting with grapes that have excellent pH and there's no problems, there might be some reason to use stems. And if you're starting with a high pH fruit, adding stems really means that you push the pH even higher, which is probably not a great idea. The other aspect about stems, besides affecting the pH and the mouthfeel of the wine because of that, is the flavors that the stems give to the wine. There's definitely a greenery, a pepperiness, a spiciness that the stems give to the wine. Starting in 2011, we found that the vineyard started to produce grapes that were rather higher in acidity and lower in pH, maybe just because of the maturity of the vines. And so in 2012, despite being a warm year, sunny year, there was no problem with the acidity. But we did not use any stems out of fear of having the wine a little too peppery and herbal. We harvested around 22.5 bricks or so. The grapes were completely destemmed, went into a small open top stainless steel fermenter, punched down by hand. Probably at that time it would have been twice a day. We punched the grapes down. The total fermentation time was under 2 weeks. It was pressed off, sat in a tank overnight, and went into barrels and remained there.
And as far as new percentage of new wood?
Yes, we used no new wood.
None new wood.
A little bit is okay for me for Syrah, but I found that Syrah is fairly, unlike Pinot Noir, it's fairly phobic of new wood. I find that the using new barrels obliterates the personality of the vineyard and obliterates the sort of peppery excitement that Syrah can bring. An easy example would be Bien Nacido versus Solomon Hills. At Solomon Hills, the tannins tend to be a little softer, and consistently at Bien Nacido, since I've been making that wine since 1994, the tannins are strong there, and we're very careful with how long we leave the fruit macerating during fermentation. At Solomon Hills, there's not so much of a worry. We can leave the grapes the grapes fermenting on the skins for as long as we want without worrying about too much tannin pickup. But at Bien Nacido, we're definitely reacting to the taste of the wine and then pressing it off relatively early, 10 days or less, to avoid having excessively tannic wine.